Poor Things, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, follows the evolving life of Bella Baxter, who is resurrected after suicide with the brain of her unborn child. Set in a Victorian and steampunk-inspired world, she embarks on a journey of self-discovery, where she challenges social norms and expectations, ultimately redefining her identity. We observe many aspects of feminism and empowerment within this film, though I argue feminism is not a central theme and is not effectively conveyed. Perhaps the director and filmmakers, being male, reflect the misuse of some of these feminist aspects. By utilizing reception theory, I will analyze audience reactions and explore possibilities of the film either promoting feminism or extending a subtle male-centric take. Although Poor Things includes aspects of feminism and empowerment, these themes are not effectively conveyed or central to the narrative. As Bella progresses, she becomes more aware of her surroundings and the dynamics of her relationships. Her awakening is depicted in a few ways, a key example being the exploration of her sexuality. The film starts in black and white and transforms into color as Bella discovers the world around her. We witness just how this woman with the child's mind functions in society without the capacity for shame. But how is this shame reinforced throughout her life, and what impact does it have? The film seems to keep these ideas quite shallow, but instead delves into her obsession with sex and her use of it to make money. While I agree this can be a female empowering choice, I believe it does not accurately underline the realities of sex work and its consequences in this case. In Paris, we see her engage with multiple partners while telling Duncan that she is the own means of her production.
You're whores!
We are our own means of production. Go away.
Her foray at the brothel is depicted as without consequence, frivolous, and played for shock value. There are no consequences for Bella being preyed upon by all of these men. At one point, Bella asks Madame if she has to have sex with a man she finds unappealing, and the answer she receives is yes.
You really expect me to go upstairs with a man, even if I find him distasteful, and therefore am sad when I let him furious jump me?
That is the way it is, my darling.
I suppose so.
The notion of Bella being forced to have sex with men she doesn't want to is not explored whatsoever. She abides and does not choose to do anything more about it. Her experience is framed as liberating and positive in the end, and having sex with someone she finds unappealing is a mere bump in the road. The only character that is criticized for preying on her is Mark Ruffalo's character, but somehow it's still done in a light and comedic way.
Oh.
I can agree that the idea of sex positivity is in fact empowering to women, but my question is, how is it truly liberating if the male patriarchy can still benefit from it? In this case, Bella, the infantilized beautiful woman, is portrayed using this male perspective, which makes you wonder why they would want to do that in the first place and if it's intentional or not. Is it just sexism that allows men to fantasize about this gullible and beautiful woman? Or maybe it's the urge of the male sex drive distilled into these images of women on screen. It's interesting that the male director and screenwriter would believe that a woman's pure sexual awakening would need to be centered on bizarre male fantasies rather than her own. The filmmakers have now reduced Bella's journey of self-discovery to a scene or two of learning and reading, and then an hour or more of sex that she doesn't fully consent to. Overall, the way in which the camera looks at Bella is a disturbing but still intriguing aspect of this film. Another instance that takes on a male-centric view is the character of Max McCandles. In this film, he is seen as the good guy and is celebrated towards the end simply because he does not condemn Bella's sex work.
Does the whoring thing challenge the desire for ownership that men have? Wedderburn became much weepy and sweary when he discovered my whoring.
I find myself nearly jealous of the men's time with you, rather than any moral aspersion against you.
In theory, because he is not as bad as Duncan Wedderburn, the filmmakers choose to allow this character to be seen in a positive light. It seems the standards for men in this film are very low. Even more so, let's not forget that Max falls in love with Bella in her early stages of cognition.
I wish to marry you. Be my wife.
Meaning her mind was comparable to that of a toddler. Again, showing how the male gaze towards a vulnerable but beautiful woman is depicted and the way in which this film highlights male predators. Based on the following ratings, it seems the film was highly commended. As for the reviews, people had contrasting opinions. Some believed that Poor Things was a journey towards independence and that Bella Baxter was a progressive female, whereas others said that it was pornographic trash masquerading as art, where women exist only as either suicidal, dumb, irrelevant, or sexual creatures. The contrast between reviews is incredibly vast, and it made me want to explore different interpretations based on gender. So I set up a little survey on social media. I put up a question asking my followers if they value Poor Things as a feminist movie, and I was really surprised at the result. I had some women stating how it represented feminist ideas well and was empowering, but others saying that it was not about feminism and rather about individualism. Based on the men's responses, some agreed it was indeed a feminist film, while others took on a neutral perspective and thought it was more philosophical. One man thought that it was a ridiculous question to even ask and not at all about feminism. Overall, the reception of Poor Things was mixed, but surprisingly not biased by only one gender. In the end, I think the director's approach in conveying feminist ideas was not effective, perhaps because of the male gaze or simply because of a lack of knowledge around these ideas. The reception, on the other hand, equally goes for and against this, which is why it becomes complicated. Many felt empowered, but a lot were made uncomfortable by the subtleties of the film. For the most part, I think we can all agree that Poor Things was a film with beautiful cinematography and incredible acting performances. Overall, what I took away from this film was the satirical depiction of humans and their fundamental aspects. Poor Things is an amazing movie nonetheless, and it would have been even more influential had there have been an accurate representation of a female main character.